Drinking buddies, let's get our shelf versus allocated versus unicorn versus dusty on. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies. So generally when I do shelf versus allocated versus unicorn, I like to stick in one distillery, but there is no shelf bottle for Weller. However, there is Maker's Mark, which shares some similar history. It's a wheated bourbon, and it's the same proof. So the 90 proof, 90 proof, 90 proof. The only difference here is our single barrel is going to be 97 proof. But what do we got here today? For our shelf, we have Maker's Mark, just your standard everyday Maker's Mark. 90 proof, really great shelf bottle that probably doesn't get enough attention, and it is an excellent mixer. So if you're looking for a mixing bourbon, you got to have Maker's Mark on your shelf. Next up, we have 90 proof Weller Special Reserve. That's our allocated bottle. Next up, we have our Unicorn, which is our Weller single barrel. And I gotta admit, I don't love this bottle. I think it's pretty good, but the hype it gets, the amount of money that it gets on the secondary, how hard this thing is to find, it's not nearly as good as CYPB or Weller 12 or Weller 107 even. It's overhyped. I will freely admit that I find that one overhyped. And last up, we have the coolest sample maybe I've ever been given. This is a Maker's Mark 90 proof that was bottled in 1996. Talk about dusty. Let's go. Honey, brown sugar for days. And like oatmeal with brown sugar and butter on it. Maybe a little maple, Great nose on this, it's giving me a lot. Flavor's not as good as the nose. Flavor on that is a little flat. Got brown sugar and bourbon vanilla and cherry, but I guess I'm dealing with a lot of like 90 proof stuff here, like lower proof stuff. That one tastes a little bit watered down to me. Oh yeah, this is a similar nose. Yeah, brown sugar, honey. Man, Play-Doh. There's Play-Doh on this nose. I don't know if my palate is just working really well today or I'm like losing my mind, one or the other. Man, really similar flavors to glass one. That's got bourbon vanilla, cherry again, brown sugar. There's a little bit of an oak note coming through on here. This has got a longer finish than glass one. That is better than glass one. That is better all around. More flavor, longer finish, not thin. It's probably like it could be that. So it could be 97 proof, but I mean, it's not like we're talking about higher proof stuff here. So you kind of expect it to be a thin mouthfeel, but that's got a much better mouthfeel than glass one. I prefer that to glass one. Wow, this is pancakes and maple syrup on the nose. I really like this nose. This is dank. This is decadent. This is dessert, but dessert that I'm eating in an old basement that maybe recently had a flood. That is really good. That's the best one so far. It does have a very short finish, but the palate is really nice. It's got like a cherry cola thing going on that I'm digging, as well as a maple syrup thing, a little bit of a nutty thing, but I wouldn't call it like peanuts. It's more like pecans. Yeah, that I really like. It tastes a little bit old, like it's maybe been sitting in a bottle for a long time, or maybe it's been sitting in a barrel for a longer time. So I think that is one of these two guys. Last up. Oh, buttercream frosting for days. Very dessert nose. This is actually the best nose so far. Cherry, So cherry, like cherry syrup over like corn muffins. Like I'm like, I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, this is like cornbread with cherry syrup on it, which I kind of need to try now because that sounds like a great idea. That is cherries, and there's a nutty thing on here too. But once again, I wouldn't call it peanut as much as I'd call it maybe like pecan or walnut. Actually, no. I have a jar of cashew butter that I often eat on chocolate. I take like a piece of dark chocolate and I put cashew butter on it. This is reminding me of dark chocolate and cashew butter. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. Those last two are really standing out ahead of the other two. I'm gonna go through these one more time, make some guesses. I will try to tell you which one is the best, and we will find out what wins. All right, drinking buddies, I have my rankings. This is my favorite, this is my second favorite, this is my third favorite, and this is my least favorite. But they did bridge the gap when I went through them again. It's not really that far behind the other three. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this is our Dusty, so I may be giving it a little, I will admit, I really try to be transparent with you guys. I will admit that I think that this is the Dusty, and that might be why I'm picking it as my favorite. But it's just so special. There's something really unique going on here. The proof I can tell is lower than the other three. But I think that is because it's been sitting in a bottle forever and it's lost some angel share. Weller Special Reserve, Maker's Mark, regular, Dusty Maker's Mark, Weller Single Barrel. Least favorite, Weller Special Reserve, all right. Next was regular Makers, okay. And then this is going to be, this has gotta be either the Dusty or the Single Barrel. Oh, well, obviously that's all that's left. Single Barrel, all right. And then that leaves just the Dusty. So I got a clean sweep here. The Dusty won. That means that the ranking is now, I don't know, I'll put it right here because I couldn't tell you. But if you liked this, I have other videos in this series of Shelf versus Allocated versus Unicorn, and I have a few videos where I did Shelf versus Allocated versus Unicorn versus Dusty. So Dusty wins. We're moving on. Oh, is that our first? No, it's our second Dusty winner. So I know there's been 2 Dusty winners. There's been 1 Unicorn winner, and at least 1 Shelf. The allocated bottles have been kind of allocated, and Dusties have been clearing the category. Drinking buddies, I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing. Every time you guys do that, it makes these videos possible. And if you're a super fan, there is a link in the description to become a channel member. I will eventually start doing barrel picks, and the only way I can do that is if you're a channel member. So thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one.